The letters have been fixed. Oh man, we've lived! Plus 200-300k to the price of the car. And you finally have no chips. They're not made of some stupid toy plastic. They're clearer, but it was worth it. And in general, you and I have waited for the moment when the Chinese, yes, we are not even waiting for this model and this version, but they give it. Because just recently, a person wrote here, literally before the appearance, about a month before, that he wants a 4-wheel drive from China. I said, what? From where? Where? What? Is there such a thing? And she was brought to us immediately. And the Vogue is 4-wheel drive. And let's see if it's gotten any better. I mean, even I like the regular one, even though it had some really infuriating joints. No car, no one does that. And it's really emergency. The spar is some kind of plastic. Super joystick. A beautiful thrush testicle. It's just these big eyes like that, and you're freaking out. What's changed? Everything is basically the same changes as the Exit LX all-wheel drive. Because everything is one platform, they can give everything. All their models now have these versions. And it's absolutely no problem for them. Here we have a 1.6 turbo strangled down to 150 horsepower, just like in the Evoside, and a robot. Now a robot rather than a variator, which in principle for this car was pretty good for everyday tasks. Now it's a little bit squirrely, as Chinese robots tend to be. The one with that joystick is actually a combustible mixture. The first thing you have to do is to turn it off, because the most important, the most annoying thing that annoys me here is that every time you come in, when you start the car, you have the automatic lane keeping assist system, as it's called here. And it's really emergency, as it's called, and it's gonna float because it's crazy. It's so creepy now. I'm gonna turn it on and you'll see. We're just gonna drive on the road. We're just gonna drive on the road. We're just gonna drive on the road. We're gonna drive on the road. We're going to drive on the road. We're gonna 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 drive on the road. I was swearing at the time. Apparently not enough. Because not only has it not been fixed, in my opinion, it's even worse. Maybe due to the fact that these are the conditions on the road right now. It was already half winter then too. Shit. That's just gross. The second thing that pisses me off is the joystick. I also scolded the joystick a little because yes, I remembered, I understood, I figured out that once you pump here, once you pump there, drive rear, all the things, all this works manual mode. You have a button here and it turns on or not turns on. To switch back to drive, you have to press it again. It's not working right now. It has absolutely nothing to do with being quick and working in some situations where you're turning around in the middle there. You accidentally hit that M in the wrong place. Now it worked 3 times before it didn't work. You're standing in the middle of the road and you press go forward and your car is still going backwards in Rara, or it still won't go into reverse in manual mode. It's just fucking hilarious. How could you do such a thing with this lever? It seems to be convenient to want it. It seems to have turned out great with the P button, that's all. That's some form of good, but man, the algorithms are even more infuriating. I was picking on Manjaro, it's even worse here. It's just a finish. It was even better with the variator with this robot. Things have gotten much worse with this robot now. That's just sick. Trouble. The most important thing about this car. Worst of all, the most difficult assignment. Back on a straight rudder from Manuel. Come on, turn on the drive for me. First, turn on the drive. Drive, please drive. Just give me the drive. There you go. No? That's it. Reverse? I do. Shit. Why? What was it about my first 5 clicks that prevented me from doing this? What's happening to her? How to adjust for that? I don't understand. But we are interested in whether AWD, LaModa, UCAMODA have gotten faster. Because back then, basically, with the variator, it was quietly getting out of the top 10. 9.7, I think it was. Which basically Exide and the robot didn't really, yeah, I think he repeated it. Let's go. Oh, a soft smooth start. Quick switch over though. 449. Come on! 954 at 210. At 210. Hurry up! Wow! That's the version. Listen. That's a 106 turbo, but the power is the same. What are we doing here, basically? A little volume, you see, allowed her to get up a little faster. Let's get in the groove. Here you go. Kind of out of 2000, kinda tossed it up, still closed the clutch for a smooth start. 424 to 60 was. 942 in manual mode, and another 10 in that direction played 9.4, 9.5. But of course I wanted to look at the drive, because on the AWD LX it showed itself even very well. Much better than, for example, before on the AWD TXL with 1.6. There are already simulations along with modes, as if all the software has already been stuffed in there to make it feel more comfortable off-road. Will we be able to trust this drive, and on the OMODA, because it is so beautiful, can be? It will be a pity, although it is not premium, as opposed to the AWD, as they keep telling us about it. But nevertheless, let's figure it out and see how it works. Especially the conditions, as our winter has seamlessly transitioned into spring. I think we'll be allowed to do that. It's probably all melted for sure by now. Let's pick dirt. Dirt, because it already is. We'll see. Manual mode. Manual mode. Super joystick. Let's see what happens. Scary, painful. We should stop by, guys. No matter how you spin it. Just straight at first. Well, that's fine. It's slipping, but it's going. It's okay. No problem. So we have to organize these problems. Come back here, you bastard. Come back, drive freer. Too good to be true. We're going back and we're going to come up with a little bit of complexity. Obviously, it's torn down, it's complicated. It seems to be going, it's even rowing, sort of. It's fine. It's even rowing. Okay, that's fine. Good. So we move on to the next hurdle, or rather the next challenge. It was usually born completely by accident then with the snow. I don't know about the dirt. With dirt, we may not be able to move. It's basically bad here in general. Maybe it won't lend itself to anything at all. Because there's something we have to do. Wild. Wild. Why? Because that's how we have to move a little bit on the eyebrows here. Well, no, in principle, again, we have passed something somehow normal as it seems so far, without any difficulty, such that, well, we basically have nothing else to do but to turn on the 444 mode, just... Just 444 mode. And look, because all this mud, snow could be different, like we wouldn't need it. That's a little weird. I'm surprised at that myself. How is it that it rides so well just nowhere? Come on, let's shift. And this is where we're gonna go. Into difficult situations, under difficult circumstances. Here we go. We're rowing, we're fucking driving even. Oh fuck, the joystick. Oh my god, the joystick. Please make me feel good. Pisses me off. I'm in some kind of hellish rut. Okay, here we go. We need to get out of it. I think I got out. Here we go. Oops. Oban. It's fine. I can feel it. It's much better in the mud, by the way, than on ice with the acid. Do you remember that? It's somehow, I don't know, normal here. The hitch is bigger and the drive feels better. Here again, think back to our slides and the acid performed better there than on ice. Then, on the ice, I didn't really like how long everything was. And here, basically, apparently, when she feels the need, she does it well enough. I think it's not bad. We confirm everything is fine with the drive as well as with the XCDLX. Did you expect this from the OMODA, so beautiful, beautiful testicle thrush? I think not, because basically it finally got a good version with a drive that you can rely on. And now it can be called a full-fledged car and not what they first showed. I don't like the front-wheel drive versions personally. And now it's okay. Man, it's so weird to watch it all, to be honest. Because there's no defense. You can see from here that everything is plastic. It's like a plastic spar of some kind. Well, kind of reinforcing, yeah, a little defense. And here in the open window is the body of the box. Which is to say. But it's weird because if a rock comes in, yeah, it ricochets off the wheel and into the carapace, and that's it. More attention, of course, to the plastic inserts in the rims that make them so mo. A lot have been written about them falling off there. You're going to lose them there somewhere else. I don't think it's about these discs. Well, where? What, is it snowing? Alright, okay, it'll stick. Maybe some dirt will get in there. I'm probably most worried about the fact that really they have small slots and there will be dirt, and accordingly bring some imbalance, possibly, in the behavior of the car and the balance of the wheel. That's right, it will. Well, but in principle, look at the carbon fiber plastic overlays on the doors covering the sills. Just to remind you that after off-roading, it'll be pretty clean. Look at these cool stampings. And since the off-road was a success, I think we should definitely have a contest for the best commentary. It's been a while since we've done anything, come on. Whoever writes the best comment to this video on the need or needlessness of all-wheel drive in crossovers will get Seaworks Japanese oil. A set of oil for the maintenance of your car. Any number of liters that you exactly need. That would be first place. There will be 3 seats in total. Second place will receive 50% off. Third place, 30% off as usual. So go ahead, write your comments and win. We'll be summarizing the results of the contest in a week in the Telegraph, so subscribe and follow too, including on Seaworks. By the way, in addition to this contest, they also have something interesting going on all the time. But in general, of course, the most important thing you will get from this car due to the updated version is, of course, the new feeling you have on the road. And a little, as I said, of the frantic old erected squares. We will start, of course, after this rant and naturally with the robot, because the first thing that has changed is your simplicity and ease, some adequacy of interaction. There appeared pauses, delays that are especially noticeable in eco mode, and it is in eco mode that it starts always driving. So every time you restart the engine, you have eco mode. I would like it standard because it is in normal, in comfort, that it behaves most well. In sport is already too much like that, maybe even twitchy, but in medium mode, yes, that's what you need, that's what you'd like to get on the move. You've got better. Yes, yep, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes all. All my favorite things to do, as they say. Basically, I haven't even gotten into the markings yet. I don't know why he thought he had to cut me off already. Here you go. What's that? What's that? Why so much? No friggin' car, not one, does that sharply and forcefully. So through, I end up going like, I can't do it fast enough. I don't need to be there right now. I have to drive. There's more attention. I don't want to bounce around the menu and look for it faster and faster and get distracted. I end up sitting here like this, man. I'm just gonna try for a discharge. What is it? Even still, even when you hold it, it still goes away. You know? The car is ripping out of your hands. It's just these big eyes and you're freaking out. What the hell? Bottom line, what needs to be done? We have to clean it up. That said, the higher the speed, the more uncomfortable it is. Of course it's happening. Now it's beeping and it's like, whatever, you can go across that lane. Alright, I'm fucking moving. Please, why do you yell sometimes? Then why the fuck do you ask me if it's okay? There's a car in front of you, it'll steer you away. Know that I didn't clean anything. Emergency. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. I'm about to chop it off permanently. I'm gonna get to the strip. 50 fucking centimeter. Half a meter, hell yeah, stripes. She's steering me away. Why the hell did you set it up like that? That said, I've even clicked here already to turn it off. All I need is an okay, a confirmation. This is the kind of wall of text read. Lane center retention system. In the center of the lane, in the center of the lane. That's exactly why she's steering away. Why the hell am I practically driving in the center of the lane as it is? Why do I have to do all this hard wheeling? You know where? It's just freezing the hell out of me. In the end, I wanted to tell you about the same joints that are still here. I'm just gonna turn it off because the most annoying thing is there's no quick button to do it. Like you have this menu that you swipe and you've got the climate right there if you need it, or these quick ones, but that's not it. It's not an emergency system. There's an on-off switch for start-stop, stabilization, helo distance assist, hold, lane departure signal. But there isn't this emergency pre-system that weighs you the most. And now for the most important part, friends. The very thing you've been waiting for the most. Remember the changes that awaited the LX as all-wheel drive and this version became available. There are even more changes in OMODA. You just can't imagine how they remodeled the entire interior. No, you don't. The oaky plastic is still in place here. The slightly crooked glove box is still in place. The cherry letters on the steering wheel are still in place instead of OMODA. The question is called restyled, but not all the way, as I wrote in the card. And of course, the most important masterpiece change is this button. It used to be one mode because there were only a few modes, but now there is a lot to click, and so they made it smart that you can click one button in this direction and another button in the other direction. So there are 6 modes in a circle. Lots of them. It had to be done. Well done, you did it. But the complaint about the interior, it's still basically the same. That's not a lot of room for high up on the range of adjustments, because somehow, somewhere around here is already close to the ceiling, if anything. You sit down, you like to sit up straight, and that's it, you're up against the ceiling. And the seats themselves. I'm paying more attention to them right now because the hunchbacks are a little bit gok-cherry. Yeah, it's all there. Right here in the back, closer to the seat cushion, closer to the seat cushion, cushion, seat cushion, seat cushion, seat cushion, seat cushion, seat cushion, seat cushion. I mean, it's all right here. You're already a little tight in here. Well, the cushion length itself could be longer too, and that just means you should sit in these seats before buying more. Let's move on to the gearbox engine nexus because everything's been changed as usual. No leaving eco mode. Wait with your off-road comfort. At first, comfort you can ride already adequately perceived car. You can ride, interact in sport, even faster speech, but perhaps even too much because there are some jerks jerking unnecessary. So this is the first time you take the handbrake off, or rather start driving on cold. Traditionally, the skull of a long cranium closes slowly, that is nowhere. Everything's in place. But at speed, it's that power itself that feels bigger, of course. Go. Nicer. Would you say it's gotten a lot more dynamic? No, not really. The second point is consumption. Because your tank is still small, but now four-wheel drive should still consume more. So let's watch. So average fuel consumption over 2200 kilometers. Considering it's a production car, 11.6 liters per 100. My average consumption is around 10.511 liters, which is not bad in principle. Well, and accordingly, character, excitement of some kind did not appear much. Yes, it's peppier, precisely at speed, and you'll like that. Yeah, in this one. This kind of leveling up is a small one, but the steering wheel customization didn't add up either. The chassis as it was, without this emphasis on handling, remains the same. Neutral, quiet, average car. Without any strong problems unless you count the assistant who pisses you off constantly. All that will have to be turned off. Other than that, it's fine. There is one problem this car has at the end. As usual with all Chinese, its current price. Because when the LX all-wheel drive came out, everyone just started pulling their hair out and saying, how can you buy it for that money? But like Cherry immediately reacted. They were like, well, there are discounts. Please take a better look. You can end up taking it for a much better deal. A little bit, even around 3 million or less. Anyway, there's no discount on this one. They thought about it. It's just worth $3 million all at once. Well, it's clear that there's credit trade-in, yes, but there are no direct discounts like this recently. Plus it's new, plus it's desirable enough because all-wheel drive isn't that much more expensive relative to your front-wheel drive variator, top-of-the-line fashion that was. So they've decided to give a shit about something now and kind of discount it. Now that's probably a little discouraging, to put it bluntly. Yes, it basically has a full set of everything you need for life, and it now has four-wheel drive and, well, such a full-fledged, basically, car, right? That's a good thing. Good. But is it worth $3 million? Probably not. And by the way, one more point, now I can call you as useful information. For example, how much is the helmet on this car at its price, too? Basically, you realize, yes, that with these more complicated forms it's more relevant. But also, since our range of click-on-car services is constantly expanding, now I have this information. For example, a helmet on AWD costs 61,900 rubles. If you need it, write to us at insurance.clicker.ru. You can compare prices with everyone else. I think we'll have the most favorable ones, as usual. What's the ranking? Is it separate from the regular OMODA? Because I didn't separate Excite for one simple reason alone. It is that it is inadequately priced. Its pluses appeared, not price appeared, are also leveled. OMODA doesn't seem to have it all together. And you kind of have to sort of view it like this now as a full-fledged car, which is, for example, also like the Pro Max version, for example, relative to the Pro 8, right? And I think it could even be raised a little bit, especially if you give them a little bit of a head start on the fact that the discounts will still show up. I think that it should be a step higher. Although you know that everything is tight there and we are comparing a car with 7 seats, which in principle with this engine is already 1.6 turbo, more powerful but front wheel drive, for example, and some of its own faults. And this is such a unique in principle. I think that it can be placed higher. If you think differently, then by all means write in the comments. As usual, we take all your comments into account. Certainly not in the rankings. But still, common sense, it's always helpful. And thanks in part to you keeping me informed of what's going on around me. The Chinese in prices, packages, in the rating, some shifts are also already taking place because you can't keep track as usual. And that's really all there is to it. Thank you so much for your attention. Don't get sick, choose the best cars. As weird as it sounds, it's better than what it is, and I'll see you later. Bye.